Welcome to Iran, the Islamic Republic in the Middle East with a unique history and culture. In this episode, we're going inside this fascinating country to look at what millions of Iranians watch every day. We'll be looking at how the Islamic Revolution transformed TV, with female singers banned from performing, forced confessions of political prisoners broadcast live, state censorship, and some of the most bizarre and dark programming I've ever seen. As a warning, this is not another picture book story of television, because TV in Iran is even darker than I could have imagined. It is a story of censorship, oppression, and even murder. This is a story that has never been told before. So, let's tell it. This is the dark world of TV in Iran. In order to understand TV in Iran, we have to split this video into two chapters, before the Islamic Revolution and after. Because before the Islamic Revolution, Iran was actually leading the region in its TV output. TV was first introduced in Iran by Habib Sabet, a wealthy Iranian industrialist, and in 1958, Television Iran (TVI) was launched as a private station and began broadcasting from Tehran. It was one of the first TV stations in the Middle East. In 1966, the Iranian government then launched its own channel, National Iranian Television (NITV), and by the early 1970s, colour broadcasting began, and TV ownership expanded rapidly across Iran. And programming before the revolution was actually pretty varied and international, thanks to a big American influence. So, let's take a look at some of those programs now.
حمله قشون انگلیس رو انتظار می‌کشیم.
This is Daye-Jean Napoleon, translated as My Uncle Napoleon. This satirical comedy series is set in Iran in the 1940s and tells the story of one large family living together with multiple eccentric relatives. The show features this guy, Daye-Jean, the uncle, an aging paranoid patriarch who is obsessed with Napoleon Bonaparte, believing himself to be a military genius and seeing British conspiracies everywhere. The comedy writes itself. Each episode is pretty chaotic and basically involves the uncle running around and just causing havoc and chaos everywhere he goes. The protagonist of each episode is this guy who falls in love with Uncle Napoleon's daughter, but their romance is blocked by family conflicts and the uncle's paranoia. This is pretty standard sitcom stuff. This show was massively popular in pre-revolutionary Iran, partly because each family member represented familiar Iranian society archetypes. The show cleverly criticised Iranian society without direct political confrontation, using humour to address paranoia, hypocrisy, and social structures. Okay, so basically, everybody just fights and argues with each other every episode. And you're about to see something that's notable, which is that the women appear unveiled and are a central part of the story.
Oh, I'm glad you came. Please stop there before it gets worse. Please.
Anyway, our protagonist eventually manages to escape the family chaos and pursue his romantic relationship with Uncle Napoleon's daughter.
میخواستم بپرسم
I cannot stress just how popular this show was in Iran, and it became one of the most beloved and culturally significant series in Iranian TV history. However, after the revolution, this show was banned because it depicted unveiled women, mixed gender gatherings, and reflected pre-revolutionary lifestyles and contained themes such as romance. However, the show is still widely watched via bootleg DVDs and satellite channels outside Iran, and there are many online uploads of it. So the show, while banned, lives on in Iranian history. Another hugely popular show before the revolution was this one, Samad. Samad was a beloved comedy series featuring Parviz Sayed as a naive village boy. Take a look at this clip of Samad discovering his new home. This is classic Iranian comedy. So, you get the idea. In each episode, Samad struggles to fit in with city-urban life. And as many Iranians had recently migrated from villages to cities, they connected with Samad's simple worldview. This was a simple village boy struggling to fit in. And Samad reflected Iran's rural-urban tensions before the revolution. The show is pretty slapstick, and in a way, it feels like a precursor to Mr. Bean in the UK. Now, despite Samad's simplicity, he often outsmarts the local corrupt figures, which of course is a standard comedy trope. So, like my uncle Napoleon, Samad was banned after the revolution, and Parviz, the lead actor, fled the country in exile. But the series remains loved and is tied to a fond memory of pre-revolutionary Iran. Now, variety shows were also super popular before the revolution, and this one was the most famous of them all, Mikake Noge, which translates as the Silver Carnation. The show was presented by Iranian legend Feridun Farrokhzad, on screen at the moment, and it featured live musical performances, comedy sketches, poetry readings and interviews with artists and intellectuals. It was one of the most loved programs of its time. Broadcast every Friday, which is the day off work in Islam, families across Iran would sit down to watch Feridun showcase the very best in Iranian music. Now, I'm sure you know the trend by now, but this show was also banned after the revolution. Not just because of unveiled women and mixed gender gatherings, but also because, believe it or not, it is now illegal for women to sing on TV or on radio or at concerts in Iran. Women are banned from singing in Iran because Shia Muslim clerics believe that a woman's singing voice can be erotic. Women in Iran have even been jailed for singing in public or for publishing their work on social media. When I said at the start of this video that the history of TV in Iran was dark, I wasn't joking, because the story of this show sadly gets worse. After the revolution, its host Feridun fled in exile to Germany, where he was murdered. He was killed by the Iranian government as part of its infamous chain murders, where over 80 prominent Iranians who spoke out against the regime were brutally murdered. His death is still talked about today, quietly, behind closed doors of course, in modern Iran. Feridun was an Iranian legend, a trailblazer, openly gay amongst his friends in 1970s Iran. His legacy and extraordinary bravery lives on in Iranian memory. Now, I bet you didn't have this show down on your list as appearing in this video, but Iranian TV also showed American imports which were dubbed into Persian, and this was the most popular of them all. Dallas aired on Iranian state TV and became a cultural phenomenon. Many Iranians were fascinated by the lavish lifestyle of the Ewing family, the themes of family drama, betrayal and power struggles, and a glimpse into American wealth and business life. Even after the revolution, many Iranians accessed Dallas through smuggled VHS tapes and satellite dishes. Characters like J.R. Ewing became widely recognised, and Iranians today still refer to cunning businessmen as JR. Anyway, it's now time to take a look at what happened after the revolution. Following the revolution, the media landscape in Iran, including TV, underwent dramatic changes as the new Islamic Republic sought to align all forms of communication with its ideological and religious principles. Media content was heavily censored to eliminate Western influences, secular themes, and anything deemed un-Islamic. This included banning music, films, and programs promoting pre-revolutionary values or Western culture. TV programming shifted to emphasize religious content, revolutionary propaganda, and state-approved narratives. Sermons by clerics and programs glorifying the revolution became staples. In particular, speeches by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini were broadcast live across Iran for hours and hours. I don't know about you, but I'd rather have Feridun back.
زندگی ما دوام پیدا می کند. بکشید ما را. ملت ما بیدارتر می شود. ما از مرگ نمی ترسیم و شما هم از مرگ ما صرفه ندارید. نهضت ما زنده شد. در تمام اقشار ایران باز زندگی از سر گرفت. برادران من نترسید از موت. مردن تهلکه نیست، مردن حیات است.
Shows promoting the revolution and the army were common, and this is probably the most well-known of them all. This is Raviyati Fath, translated as the Chronicles of Victory. This incredible documentary series was produced and directed by Morteza Avini during the Iran-Iraq War of the 1980s. The series aimed to document the experiences of Iranian soldiers on the front line and to present the war through an Islamic and revolutionary lens. Avini and his team embedded themselves in the army and with volunteer soldiers, and captured their daily life in trenches, battlefield operations, and captured the personal stories of the soldiers. The series combined documentary footage with poetic narration, Quranic recitations and traditional Iranian music. The series emphasised martyrdom, spirituality and the moral dimensions of the war. Now, obviously this documentary was one-sided and it was intended to showcase the Iranian point of view and that Iran was winning the war, but nevertheless it is an incredible historical document of the war. Its legacy was further strengthened when the director, Avini, was killed by a landmine in 1993 when filming for the series, further elevating him to symbolic status in Iranian media and cultural history. When I was researching this video, every twist and turn seemed to get darker, and then this came up: forced confessions and mock trials. Forced confessions and basically fake trials have been frequently aired on Iranian state TV, a practice that's well documented over decades. The state has broadcast coerced confessions from political prisoners, activists, journalists and others, often to suppress dissent and instill fear. A 2020 report by Justice for Iran and the International Federation for Human Rights documented at least 355 forced confessions between 2009 and 2019, often obtained through torture, including physical beatings and threats against detainees or their families. You're watching here the trial of Abbas Amir Entezam, which was broadcast on Iranian TV. He was a former Iranian minister who was imprisoned for criticising the regime. He was Iran's longest held political prisoner, having been in jail for 38 years before he died in 2018.
دنیایی نداشتم، گناهکار بودم. خدا خواسته توبه کنم، به راه راست هدایت باشم. کمکم کردنی بچه‌های اینجا.
You're watching now the forced confession of Majid Reza Ravanad, who was arrested and sentenced to death following his taking part in protests against the regime. Have a listen to his forced confession.
مایی که تونسته بودم تا اونجا تا استان سمنان فرار کنم، همون خدا نخواست ما فرار کنم. خدا خواست ما یک جورایی به راه راست هدایت بشم. گوشو میگرفت ایشالا دستو من میگیره مادر.
You can judge for yourself how likely he is to have freely said those things. He was sentenced to death and publicly hanged in the street from a crane. Images of the hanging were broadcast on the nightly news, although for obvious reasons I'm not going to show them here. By this point, it was all getting a bit dark and depressing, but it's important we tell this story because this is the reality of television in Iran. However, thankfully, it's not all like this, and now we can, at last, move to something a bit lighter. Okay, so this little and somewhat terrifying character is called Kolar Gurmazi, translated as the Little Red Hat. And this is one of Iran's most beloved children's TV and film franchises. Kolar originally debuted as a character on a children's educational program, but he quickly gained massive popularity, leading to the development of several TV series, holiday specials and feature films. The show centres around Kolar and his whimsical adventures, alongside a host of other puppet characters. Here's Kola from another episode where he's playing a kind of crazy doctor come scientist type person. Let's hope he's not enriching uranium there. And this episode is a little bit dark, but actually quite funny. I do love the creativity and humour behind this puppet show, and it was hugely popular, mostly because it blended puppetry with live action and used humour, satire and childlike curiosity to explore everyday life. The characters frequently find themselves in humorous, often absurd situations, and their interactions reflect the dynamics of Iranian society in a gentle and family-friendly format. This is Amu Purang, translated as Uncle Purang, and this is a hugely popular Iranian children's TV show that has been on air since the early 2000s. The programme is hosted by Darius Farzia, who is affectionately known as Uncle Purang. He is one of the most recognisable faces in Iranian TV. You'll notice how the kids in the audience are now segregated by sex. Amu Purang is a variety-style children's programme that combines music, storytelling, sketches, educational segments and live audience interaction. The show is designed to entertain while teaching moral values, social etiquette and cultural awareness. Amu Purang is huge and has now been on TV for over 20 years. Every kid in Iran knows Amu Purang and sits down to watch him almost every day on Iranian TV. Now, I'm sorry, I don't speak Persian, so I have no idea what's going on in this clip, why a man is painted green, and why there are two men dressed as women behind him. But for any Persian speakers who can let us know what the heck is going on here, please do in the comments. Okay, so Uncle Purang's little green troll here is giving me nightmares, so let's now go on and take a look at the entertainment on offer for adults in Iran. This is Baron Der Bash, translated as Be the Winner, and it is of course the Iranian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So, you all know the format. Contestants answer a series of increasingly challenging general knowledge questions to win a significant cash prize. This question is the first and is asking how many Olympic rings there are. 6, 5, 7 or 4. The show follows the Western format. There are 15 questions and the top prize is 1 billion Iranian rials. But don't get too excited, that's equivalent to about $8,000 US. When Bash premiered in 2018, it was an instant smash hit. The show featured a sleek, modern set, high production values, and an app-based participation system where viewers at home could also engage and play along by answering questions on their phone and win a chance to appear on the show. It was also presented by this guy, Iranian pop star and heartthrob Mohammad Golzar. The show quickly took hold of the country and became the top-rated show in Iran. But for those of you who know a bit about Islam, you may be surprised to see this show on Iranian TV, because gambling is officially haram, or forbidden, in the religion. And the Ayatollah also had a problem, because it turned out that Iranians actually loved this show. It turned out that Iranians actually loved to gamble, and this simply could not be allowed. And so, after just 2 series, despite it being the biggest show in Iran, the Ayatollah banned it, and it was seen no more.
کدام حشره بیشترین طول عمر را دارد؟
Okay, so this is Mafel, translated as The Gathering, and this is a massively popular TV show that first aired during Ramadan in 2023. It's a kind of a game show mixed with a talk show that focuses on the Quran. Rather than following the traditional format of a competition game show, Mafel takes a conversational and reflective approach, presenting a blend of live Quranic recitations, personal stories, and interviews with distinguished guests and talented reciters. Basically, families from around the Muslim world are presented onto the show to talk about their emotional experiences with the Quran. In this particular episode, the son is the hero, demonstrating his knowledge of the Quran, and basically the clerics are reciting random parts of the Quran, and the son is showcasing his skills by quickly locating them. Airing daily before iftar during Ramadan, Mafel has quickly become a national success and draws millions of viewers not only in Iran but across the Muslim world. Social media clips from the program frequently go viral, and the show's emphasis on sincere, spiritually grounded expression has resonated deeply with its audience. This is a modern take on religious programming that has been a massive hit in Iran. We're going to end this video by looking at what is currently the biggest TV show in Iran. This is Vashai, translated as The Savage, and this is a gripping crime drama series that has quickly become a cultural sensation. The series follows the haunting story of Davoud Ashraf, a quiet working-class miner whose life takes a catastrophic turn after he unintentionally causes the death of 2 children. What begins as a tragic accident spirals into a harrowing descent through violence and into the shadows of Tehran's criminal underworld. What sets The Savage apart from other Iranian series is its psychological complexity and high production values. This series has struck a powerful chord with Iranian audiences, who have praised its daring narrative, high production values, and willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. This show has an IMDb rating of nearly 9 out of 10, and episodes generate widespread discussion online. The Savage has been lauded as a milestone in Iranian TV. This is Netflix quality stuff, with a blend of suspense, empathy and social commentary which has resonated with its viewers and become an international smash hit.
مکافات نکشیده هنوز اشرف جان.
So, that was quite a roller coaster, wasn't it? And sorry to any Iranians if I did not cover your favourite show in this video. There are literally thousands of programmes to choose from and I can't include them all. But to all viewers, I hope that this video has given you a flavour of TV in Iran both before and after the revolution. For me, making this video was a depressing journey. Seeing the vibrant Iran before the revolution transformed, with former presenters murdered and women banned from singing on TV. I'm sometimes criticised in the comments for my pro-Western bias, and maybe that's fair. I do look through these videos with a lens of democratic values and human rights. But in this case, I'm not going to apologise. Prisoners should not be forced to confess on TV. Women should not be banned from singing. And former TV presenters should not be murdered. This is not my pro-Western bias. This is a basic respect for human beings. Television in Iran has a dark history, but it is nonetheless fascinating. And with Iran's growing population of 80 million, and with more money being plunged into the TV industry, believe me when I say that this video is just the first part of this incredible and at times harrowing story. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of my other videos on this series, including TV in North Korea and TV in communist Cuba. You can also support me to make more documentaries like this via the links on your screen or by becoming a member of the channel. Members get a credit on every video and priority say on which country we travel to next. See you next time.